Yeah. When I come to any new stage, I like to let people know a little bit about me, right? So I'm from Chicago, and a lot of times people will say, well, Chris, why did you get into comedy? So just hold that up right there. That picture will tell you exactly why. There you go, thank you. If you notice, there's a very big difference between how I look now and how I look back then. My ears were giant and they stuck out a ton. I don't know if you guys in the balcony can see, but they stuck out a ton. I had them surgically repaired when I was in college because I was tired of being called Dumbo and Baby New Year. If you want to know how big they were, you see how I also have that hockey mullet, all that hair at the bottom? Look really close at that. That's not hair. That's the shadow from my giant ears, okay? Thank you. That's what I was walking around with living. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, it was supposed to be giant up there for everybody, but we weren't able to get that done. So let's start with you. I'm from Chicago. I recently turned 40 years old, and thank you. So yeah, I'm at that age where definitely want to have children. I want to have some kids, and a lot of women my age are like, well, Chris, you don't have to worry. God bless you. You don't have to worry about it. You're a man. You don't have a biological clock. You can have kids when you're 80. And I'm like, no. Okay, first of all, who's going to be having sex with me when I'm 80, right? Nobody. Number two, I don't want to be so old when I have my first kid that we're both wearing diapers and drinking out of sippy cups, right? That's not my idea of parenting at all. So I have this one friend, she's a girl, she's getting really nervous, right? She's 40, she hasn't had kids yet, she's a little drunk at a party, and she comes up to me and she goes, Chris, can you just do me a favor? Could you just do me a favor? She said, could you just give me your sperm? And I thought about it for a second, and then I said to her, it would be a little bit more fun for me if you tried to take it, right? I should get something out of this deal. I'm not just whacking off into a petri dish, and then you have an extra family. So, that is true, that happened, but I am actually recently engaged also, so those kind of activities can't happen. July 20th, you're all invited to Chicago. I want to read you guys something. My fiance is Russian, okay? No, I didn't order her. She's been here 10 years. She speaks perfect English. We get along great. Her parents live in Russia, speak no English. They don't know me. They don't know anything about me. I can't communicate. And I'm very traditional, so it upset me. So I said, you know what? Let me do something. Let me write them an email. So I thought, all crafty, I'd write them an email. I put it through a Russian translation machine and sent it to them. 2 days later, my fiance comes back and said, what did you send to my parents? So I'm going to read you the English version first, and then we'll get the translation. Here's the English version, okay? I wanted to say hello and introduce myself through email because I know you have not yet had a chance to learn about me. I hope it wasn't too big of a surprise when Julia told you she was engaged. She's told me quite a bit about you both over the past few years, so I already feel like I know everyone. The one thing I wanted to say is it's important that you understand I love your daughter very much, and I promise I will take good care of her. That is all I want to say for now. I hope to meet you both very soon in Russia. Nice, right? A lot of you probably have daughters. That's a nice letter. Yeah, right. This translation machine turned me into some psychotic Elizabethan lunatic. Here's what they got on their end. God's honest truth. I wanted to tell greetings and be presented by email because I know that you did not yet study me. Nevertheless, I hope that it was not too big of a surprise when Julia has told you that she has now been occupied. These are Russians through World War II. Occupied is one of the worst words you could possibly say to them. She's told me everything about you, thus I already feel like I know all, right? Again, these are nervous people. KGB, war, bad things. Listen to this doozy. One thing which I wanted to tell consists that for me, it is important you understand I love daughters. She's got two sisters. Daughter, I don't care. As long as she's a daughter, I'll marry them. Doesn't matter to me. Very liberal. I will take very precise care of it. And here's how how it ends. I didn't do any of this. That is everything I will tell you. You both deserve to meet me shortly in Communist. That's it. It's going to be a lot of fun when they come the 20th. They're going to have a lot of, yeah. It's good they don't speak English, I guess, at this point. So, maybe some of you guys have experienced. When I turned 40, I was getting a little paranoid. I'm like, let me go to the doctor. I don't go to the doctor often. Let me go there. Let me get this all taken care of. I went in there. I'm like, give me every blood test. Give me a physical. Give me a pap smear. I want the gold package. I don't care what it is. But this guy was a little off, right? Because we're all done. I think we're all done, right? I'm starting to get dressed. And he looks at me and he goes, exact quote, "Hey, man, do you want me to give you a rectal?" Okay? First of all, any doctors in the house, never start a sentence with "hey, man," okay? You lose your patient's total confidence. Secondly, a rectal is not really an option, right? It's either you have to do it and you tell me, or we part ways, right? No man wants a rectal, okay? Unless maybe the weekends in the Castro or Boys Town in Chicago, but that's not a professional setting. So he sees I'm struggling to answer this, right? I can't answer it at all. So the next doozy that comes out of his mouth is, how about if I just take a peek, right? Now my confidence is way down because I can guarantee you, peek is not an approved medical procedure, okay? He did not learn that at Northwestern Medical University. Hey, I'm gonna do a peek and I'm gonna poke around the spleen a little bit, have a look-see at the heart. No. But fine. I'm like, all right, fine. I'm here, let's get this done. I bend over, and I shit you not. All right, bad. I swear to God, he lifts up my gown. 5 seconds he looks at it, gets up and goes, "Looks good to me." So let's recap this. This is his report when he has to give it in. Offered the patient a rectal, took a peek, diagnosis, looks good to me. That's it. And I was mad because I went through it and I'm like, there's nothing he could have told in 5 seconds, right? Unless something really weird was going on, like if I had the strap of a Nintendo Wii hanging out of there, then he could have been like, listen, I need to talk to you, we have a problem here. But 5 seconds, what did he possibly figure out? And I'll tell you guys another thing. 3 weeks later, I get a bill from the doctor's office, itemized. It said full rectal. I called him right up. I said, I'm only paying for a peek. I didn't get no chance. Thank you. Thanks for the kick applause over there. Woo! So let me tell you guys something. So I was in a 12-year relationship prior to getting engaged. Oh my gosh, it was. I think some people call it a marriage, right? And so I was in a 12-year relationship, then I was single for 3 years, and then I met my fiance. That transition period, when you come out of a long-term relationship and then become single, is very difficult for one reason. Women, it's very difficult to learn, you guys, right? Especially your body isn't like in a physical kind of way, right? And I hadn't been working on my skill sets in sex in a while. 12 years, you guys know the deal, right? And you'll all probably admit this, right? This is why it was hard for me. A penis is a lot less complicated than a vagina, right? If you were to break them down, if they were board games, a penis is like Candyland, a vagina is the New York Times crossword puzzle, right? Like if they came with instruction manuals, a vagina would be like a 900-page manual written in the Da Vinci Code that even Tom Hanks in his weird hair couldn't figure. Ladies, you know what you get with your penis? You get a little fortune cookie, you open it up, and that white piece of paper says, "Touch me." That's it. What else do you possibly need to know? But I was really bad at a lot of things when I first came out. It was very confusing. It was not a great time for me. Like one girl I really liked, she was into dirty talking and stuff, right? And I'm no prude. I can figure stuff out, but I had never done it before. But I wanted to be good at it and try to impress her. But the problem is I really stunk at it, because in the middle of it, she looks at me, she's like, "Oh, baby, I love to have sex with men." I looked her right in the eye, I go, "Oh, baby, so do I." Right? Probably not what she was looking here. Didn't really enhance the moment. The other thing is women are very deceptive, right? And again, I don't mean in like a mental mind games way, because you are, but we all are, right? I'm talking about physical appearances these days, right? Who here has heard of Spanx? Yeah. Spanx, if you don't know, are these like inner leotard things that women put under their clothes that shapes their whole body up, right? Now listen, men know, we understand you're going to wear high heels, and you're going to wear jewelry, and you're going to wear makeup, and you're going to do hair extensions, and that we wake up next to somebody that looks nothing like the person we went home with. We got that, okay? We're okay with that. But Spanx is a bit too deceptive because you could go on a date or whatever, you could meet a girl, you go home with her, she rips that Spanx off, boom, it's like a Jack-in-the-Box. Flesh and rolls everywhere. Instantly, she goes from the body of like Jessica Biel to the body of Rosie O'Donnell, right? You're like, what just happened? But guess what she knows? This is why it's deceptive. Oh, you get any guy home drunk and naked, where is he going? Nowhere. She won. She's got it. He's staying. He's going to stay with her. The opposite is not true. If you met a guy who's wearing Manx, which they make male Spanx, they're called Manx. It's true. He comes home, takes him off, a giant beer gut comes out. Women, are you sleeping with him? No, you know what you're doing. iPhone comes out, photo, instantly post it everywhere, text to everyone, subject line OMG LOL, right? That's it. You have no compassion for us. One of the worst stories that happened to me, as you can tell, I'm pretty pasty white. I'm from Chicago, I'm Irish, there's no sun. I look like the cast of I'm Twilight, like a corpse or something like that. My friends told me, I was in a rut, the women were like, hey, why don't you try some self-tanning lotion? Why don't you get a little self-tanner? I said, sure, I'll try anything. Two very important qualities about self-tanner you guys need to know. I did not know this, maybe you do. Number one, it works gradually. It takes time. You don't just put it on in your tan. Two, some of the worst smelling stuff in life. I have this date lined up. Right now or before, I'm feeling all good. I'm lathering myself up with this self-tanning, 2 or 3 coats, like I'm weatherproofing a deck. I'm just like, let's get it going, right? Feeling all good. I get to this date. This is absolutely true. No, it's weird. No vibe is going on. She's looking at me weird. I can't really connect. I'm like, what is happening? I look down at my arms, at least 5 shades darker than when we started this date, okay? I am tanning before this woman, okay? I started as Casper the Ghost. I look like Don Johnson in Miami Vice now. How do you explain that? What am I like, oh, I'm a night chameleon. I just blend into my environment. What do you... Is she gonna, this is not, and by the way, at that point I smelt like I basically dropped out of society and was touring with the Dead in the 60s and Haight-Ashbury. Very bad equation. Didn't go so well. And of course she didn't go out with me again. And then at the end I whipped out my TJ Maxx card. Didn't do me any good. That's a callback. So another thing that's important to know. I went home. It'll stain your sheets, okay? If you wear self-tanning lotion, my sheets are white, it'll leave the imprint of your body on your sheets. Now, do you guys know what the Shroud of Turin is? If you don't, it's what Jesus was buried in. It actually exists, the imprint of his body. My sheets look like the Shroud of Turin. I live in a very diverse south side of Chicago. I put my sheets outside, hang to dry. I came back 3 hours later, there were 400 Mexican women praying to it, and the local news was filming the whole thing. Insane. The last bit of this story, thank you. The last bit of this story is, unfortunately true, a bit graphic. I come home about 4 weeks later, right? I'm still single, I'm a man, I'm a little drunk, I have some desires. Let me take care of my business, right? I have to do this. I'm like, let me just get it out of the way, I'll take care of myself. Like most men, I prefer to use a little lubrication in that scenario so you don't chafe yourself up, especially if you're a frequent masturbator. Me being drunk at Stark, apparently I grabbed the self-tanning lotion to lubricate with, because I woke up in the morning, got in the shower, my penis was golden bronze, as was my right palm. Rest of this, all pasty white. All right, guys, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Chris Paladino, everybody.